Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In our previous example, I demonstrated how we could use stock using the library stock. Okay. Now this time we're going to create our own user-defined function that implements the use of stocks. So let's go back here. So we're going to have our user-defined function using stocks, and then we're going to use here array to implement that. Now in our lesson 1, in our previous example, I have shared to you several operations that we could use in stocks. We have push, we have pop, we could also have the capability to display, and then let's say we want to determine whether the stock is empty or not. Okay, so let's write our codes. Here I'm going to define our array. So I'm going to define here our stock size. So this is a variable that I'm going to use. So let's set it to 5. Okay, and then I'm going to create here an array which we will call stock num, and then we will be using the size that we define here. Okay, so it means that our stock number or size will be 5. So whatever the value that we set it here. The next thing to do is that I'm going to use here a variable named top, and then I'm going to set it as -1. If you recall in our previous example here, if I go back to my PowerPoint, okay, let's go back and open our PowerPoint here. If you notice that the value, if in case the array is empty, we have here sort of a pointer that the value of top is set to -1. Okay, so the value, it means that the stock is empty. Okay, so let's continue with this one. Next is I'm going to create several functions. Okay, we're going to use several functions here, such as void push. Okay, when we say push, it allows us to insert our data, and then I'm going to create also another function called display, and then okay, this one will definitely display our data. Then another one, void pop. Okay, this one now allows us to remove our data. Okay, then another one is void clear. Okay, so these are the different functions that we're going to create later. Let's go to our main program. So in our main program, I'm going to create here a loop while true. Okay, then inside the loop, we're going to create here a menu. Now let's define some variables. Integer choice, and then now the choice here will be used in our menu later. So let's now display or create our menu. So stock implementation using array. Okay, let's have it like this. Okay, next thing to do is that we're going to have our operations. So the first one is our push. Okay, second one will be our, let's have it here. Let's have it 2. Then we're going to have our pop. Okay, and then there. Next is we're going to have the third menu, that is display. Okay, and then we're going to have another menu that is to ask for us to clear the stock that we have, means that we're going to erase it. And then we're going to have the pip one, which is exit. Okay, let's prompt the user to enter your choice. Okay, and then we're going to input now using the variable choice. Okay, so let's create now our choices here. So for our choices, we're going to have here 5. So switch choice. Okay. For our first option, what we're going to do is we're going to enter a number. Okay. Then we're going to have here input using the variable num that we have declared earlier. Then let's assume that we enter. We're going to use the push function to insert our number to our stack. So I'm going to create here, I'm going to use here push and then num. Num is the value that we're going to enter. And then after that, I'm going to have here break. Next, case 2. So for our case 2, we're going to call the pop method or function later. Okay, then break. Case 3, what we're going to do is we're going to call the display function. Okay, and then break. Case 4, okay, this one we're going to call the clear function. Okay, and then we also need to break. And then the last one, case 5, we're going to exit. Okay, now if in case the user enters a value that is not beyond the range, we're going to have your default cout, and then let's just display error. Okay, it's like then. Okay, so we have here, do we need to bring a break? Oh, let's put it a break here. Okay, and then okay, let's arrange this one. So this is our main main function. Okay, let's review. We don't have the methods yet or the functions. We'll create it later. So we have here a loop. It will continuously execute until such time that the user press here 5 to exit. So we have here 5 choices. The first one is push, that allows us to input or enter data. Pop, we remove. Display, we show. Clear is that we're going to exit it. And then here we're going to have exit to exit the program. Okay, so I think we have this one already. So I need to copy all of this function and let's create our own user-defined functions here. Okay, so in this side we're going to have our user-defined functions. Okay, so the first data that we're going to have is for us to insert our data using the push command. So here, if you look at our method or functions, we have void, push, and then it requires us to pass here a value. The value that we're going to have is this one here. So whatever number that we enter, it will be inserted into our array. Okay, so here, let's say we use here n. Okay, next is, I think we're going to remove this. Open and close curly brace. Okay, there. Now, the first thing that we have to do when we insert, so we're going to have this one. If, let's say, top, which is the variable that we declared earlier, is equals to stack size minus 1. Okay, this particular statement means that we're going to say the stack is full. Okay, there. Okay, so since we declared here, let's say 5, if top is equals to 5 minus 1, it means that the stack is full already. If not, what we're going to do is that we're going to insert our data to our array. So stack num, and then we're going to increment our top is equals to n. So why do we need to increment top? If you go back here, if you go to our PowerPoint, so if you insert one value, by default top is set to -1, and then as we add or push data, we need to increment the value of top by 1. Okay, this one here. So as you can see, we have here -1, then +1 it's 0, this one is +1, and so on and so forth. Okay, this one here is that if the top is exactly equal to the length of the array, it means that the stack is full. So this is the condition. So this is our first method or function that allows us to push data into our array. So the next thing is, let's now go to display. So display method allows us to show the contents of our stack. So in showing the content of our stack, we just need to create here a loop. Okay, now we also have to do certain condition here. So if, let's go back again to our PowerPoint. Let's say the user displays the data, but we don't have any value yet, means that top is equals to -1. We will say that this stack is empty. Okay, so let's go back here. So let's write our condition. So if, let's say, top is equals to -1, we will say that our stack is empty. Okay, so that's our condition. But if it's not empty, okay, then we're going to so we're going to create a loop for int I is equals to top, is equals to top there, and then I less than or equal to 0, and then I is that I minus there. Then all we need to do is to display here our stack num, and then since our array I, and then end line. Okay, so this code here will display our elements or our stack values. Next, we need to write now our pop. So pop allows us to remove the data. Okay, then we need to create our method here. Okay, so condition that we have to test: if the user continuously pops the value. Okay, let's go back again to our PowerPoint. Okay, let's say this side here, it continuously pops the value and it reaches top is equals to -1, we have to say that the stack is empty. Okay, this one here. So when we say pop, it removes the topmost element. But if we reach this one here, so here, the topmost element in our previous value is 5. Once we reach here, pop, the top now, we sort of decrease or subtracts the value to our top here. But if the top reaches -1, the stack is empty. Okay, so let's write here a condition. If, let's say, top is exactly equal to -1, so we have to say that let's just copy this one here, stack is empty. Okay, but if it's not empty, what we will do is that we're going to say you remove the value, okay, okay, what the element, okay, the value or the element, and then we're going to say stack num, and then top minus minus. Okay, so it means that we are subtracting 1 to the top variable that we have. Okay, and last method or function is clear. So if the user just press here clear, what we're going to do is that we're going to set here top is equals to -1. Okay, so this is the method. So let's review the methods that we created. So the first method here, or function, allows us to push in the data. So we are inserting the value into our array. This one here checks whether the stack is full. Okay, if top is exactly equal to the stack size -1, then the stack is full. Else we increment top, and then we insert whatever value to our array. This one here displays the data or the value of the stack, but we have also to determine the condition. If top is equals to -1, then the stack is empty. Otherwise, we display the contents of the data. This one here removes or pops the data. We test the condition. If top is equals to -1, the stack is empty. Otherwise, we will show what data that we remove, and then we try to decrease the value of top. And last is clear. We just set the value of top to -1. Okay, so let's try to run our codes. Hopefully there are no errors here or bugs, otherwise we will debug it. Okay, let's wait for a while. It's currently compiling. Oh, okay, there. So okay, so this is now our output. So first thing is that you have to input several choices here. So in our choices, if the user enters a value that is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it should result to an error. So let's try here 6, enter. So there is our error, which is the message which is error. Next is let's try to exit the program 5. So again, the program ended. So that particular part runs. So let's run it again. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so let's try to display the data. If you notice, currently the top is set to -1. So if we display it here, we should have that the stack is empty. Okay, here the stack is empty. So because there's no data. Then let's try to push in the data. So enter 1, push. Then we are asked to enter a number. So let's say we will enter a value 100, enter. There. So what we did is that we were able to insert now the value of 100 to our array. Next is let's call 3. So it should have the value of 100 in our array. So we already inserted that. So 3. There is our first element. So let's try to push again another set of data 1. So let's have it 200, then push 300, 4. Oh, sorry, what did we do? We cleared it. Okay, let's try it again. 1 is 100, 2 is we pop it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm kind of confused here. Let's try it again. Push 100, push 200, push 300, push 400, push 500. There, if we display it 3, then we have here the values. Now, if we push another value 600, so the stack is already full because we set it only to 5. So it should display as the stack is full. There, the stack is full already. Okay, so let's display the value again 3. So I have here all the elements. Now, if we execute here pop, so the first element that will be removed is 500. Okay, so if we press here 2, as you can see here, you remove the value 500. So if we display it again, which is number 3 here in our menu, we have 400, 300, 200, and then 100. Let's continuously pop the data. 2, where as you can see here, we are removing the data that we have entered. So pop it again, we have removed 200, pop it again, we have removed 100, and then if we pop it again, so pop, the stock now is okay. So this is the implementation of a user-defined function implementing stacks using arrays and with the different operations related to stacks. Okay, so I hope you like the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.